Time now for Who Owns Kenya, and this week we focus on the Kenya Electricity Generating Company, Kengen, the company which is charged with the generation of power for the country, and it will play a critical role in the government's ambitious plan to generate 5,000 megawatts of electricity to drive its industrialization agenda. Now, the company was founded in 1998 as a splinter from what was then Kenya Power and Lighting Company, which at the time controlled both power generation and power distribution as well. The creation of Kengen was part of government plans to streamline parastatals, including the Kenya Posts and Telecommunications Company, Kenya Power and Lighting Company, as we've mentioned, and Welcome Kenya Limited. Now, under the restructuring, the government sought to decentralize service provision from the three public sector giants, which were the three richest companies in the country. Now, today, Kengen controls 80% of the country's power generation facilities, valued at well over 189 billion shillings, and the company generates a massive 16.5 billion shillings in revenue from the facilities. Now, Kengen generates 1,239 megawatts of electricity from various sources, including 820 megawatts of hydropower, 256 megawatts of thermal power, 158 megawatts of geothermal power, and 5.1 megawatts of wind power. Kengen power generation, hydropower 820 megawatts, thermal power 256 megawatts, geothermal power 158 megawatts, wind power 5.1 megawatts, as I've just mentioned. Now, the company will later this year commission a 280 megawatt power station in Olkaria, making it the single largest geothermal project not only on the continent but in the world. The plant is expected to bring down the cost of electricity by fully eliminating diesel-powered generators, which contribute the largest cost component on electricity bills. Now, Kengen was listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange in 2006 in what was perhaps the government's most successful initial public offer that paved way for the privatization of other state-owned corporations. Now, this year, in June, the company will be seeking to raise an additional 30 billion shillings through a share split, offering 2.2 billion shares to shareholders. The funds generated from the issue will be used to develop an additional 400 megawatts of power from geothermal, solar and wind sources as well. Now, according to the company's latest financial results, it generated over 4.09 billion shillings in profit before tax, issuing a dividend payment of 60 cents per share for its 2.2 billion shares currently listed on the NSE. This means its shareholders took home 1.3 billion shillings in dividends. So, who owns Kengen? Well, as of June 2013, the top shareholders in Kengen, we start with the top shareholder, and it was the government of Kenya through the National Treasury. That's 70% of Kengen's shares, or just over 1.5 billion shares. This means that Kengen is still considered a state corporation under the State Corporations Act. At number 2 is the Kenyan worker through the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, with 0.5% of Kengen, or 10.89 million shares. Coming in at number 3 is interesting. It's a businessman, Karim Jamal, who holds 0.48% of Kengen's shares, or just over 10.5 million shares. Now, Mr. Jamal is a heavy investor on the NSE with a portfolio worth over 2.5 billion shillings, investing in key companies including Kenya Power, Mumia Sugar, Uchumi Supermarkets, Samir, Sasini and Kakuzi, and of course, as you can see, heavily in Kengen as well. Now, let's take a look at the top 10 shareholders. Many nominee accounts through various financial institutions. Let's take a look at the full list of our top 10. Graphics should have that. Yes. At number 4, we have a Standard Chartered nominee account, and that's holding 0.46% of the shares. Let's take a look at number 5 now. Again, it's a nominee account, Standard Chartered Nominees Limited, 0.37%. At number 6, CFCStanbic Nominees Limited, and there you have 0.28%, which is what they hold. At number 7, CFCStanbic Nominees Limited, 0.27. At number 8, Standard Chartered Nominees Limited, 0.23. At number 9, NIC Custodial Services, 0.22. And at number 10, a CFCStanbic Nominees Limited account, 0.21% is what they hold. So there you have, the private investor there, businessman Karim Jamal, in third place in terms of shareholding at Kengen. Let's just take a look now at our quote of the week. I'm told they don't have it, but I'm going to read it out, Bernard, because I just think it's so great. Graphics, if they can get it, we'll put it up. There we have it. It's a Chinese proverb. Those who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those doing it. I love that. And